my name is Brittany Wong, and I am the co-founder of a digital marketing agency in Massachusetts called Koda Creative Group, as well as also the co-founder of a CBD-infused skincare line called Secret Society. At Koda, we really focus on three things, and that is brand, web, and social. I got into the cannabis space because I'm truly passionate about it. I found a lot of like-minded people that were really starting out and starting their own CBD and cannabis companies, and we really just kind of clicked. As a new company entering the space, I would say you really need to start with brand work. So you need to identify who you are, why you do what you do. Why do you get out of bed every day? We usually start that with the brand workshop. We get all the stakeholders and the team in the same room, and we make sure everyone's on the same page. From there, we really cultivate a solid brand for you, which usually will include a logo, a mission, and vision. So then you're really being informed on why you're making your business decisions moving forward. So that would really be the first step, would be brand work for a new company. For web, we really do everything web related. So everything from discovery, user experience, content, design, development, SEO, we do it all. So usually a website service will start as a project. So someone will come to us, a company will say, can you build me a website? We say absolutely. So you pay a flat fee, we get the website up and running for you, we get your e-commerce done if you have an e-commerce functionality, or if it's more just of a landing page type website or a validation website or directory website, we can do that too. So from there, we would then usually start it as a retainer. After the project is launched, your website's live, so what now? We would then take that and make sure we're optimizing your website for SEO. We would help you with any content updates, plugin updates, CMS updates, making sure everything's secure, up and running great. You know, we've partnered with several payment processing companies to make sure that we're compliant. So we get all that covered for you and make sure that's managed instead of having someone internally have to run that. And one more thing for someone to think about, we take that off your plate, and then the client then sends us all the assets, and we just make sure our team gets it done for you. So we all know that the cannabis industry is restricted federally for advertising requirements. So therefore, for social media, our focus is really growing the business's platforms, channels organically. And what does that mean? That means we're not using any spend in terms of advertising, but instead we're finding your users through growth hacking strategies, through influencer campaigns, through hashtag strategies. And from there, we're able to build you an authentic audience that's relevant to you without having to run through ads. So we've seen really good success with that. Typically, the way this works is a client will come to us, maybe they have been around for a while, maybe they're brand new after the website launches, and say, okay, now what we need to do is we need to increase sales and brand awareness. So that's something that our team at Koda, we help with. And we usually do that with a discovery and a retainer, usually about a 12-month retainer, but we can do shorter or longer depending on your budget. And we do everything from developing the content. We do the strategy, we do the design. We will then post for you and monitor the analytics all the time to make sure that what we're doing is really resonating. But on top of that, we're not the kind of agency that's gonna post for you and never look at it again. So what will happen really is after we do the posting, we have someone called your brand champion on our team that will take a look at it on an ongoing basis to say, who should I be following on behalf of your business? Who should I be engaging with? Are there certain companies, if you're a wholesaler, that you're trying to get in front of? We would develop that targeted list and we'll start doing outreach on behalf of that. And we do have several case studies. If anyone's interested in sharing, feel free to reach out, and I'm happy to send you our full case studies on the cannabis space. But a couple high level things that I did want to mention. One of my clients, we were able to increase a client's engagement on Instagram from around 2% to 23.5% engagement, which is a huge increase. Typical engagement for retail on Instagram is 0.97%. So with the average being 0.97, if you look at that, 23.5 engagement rate is amazing. And that's kind of, I think, where the cannabis industry needs to go. I think once we have a little bit more metrics, we'll be able to say, okay, outside of retail, the cannabis engagement rate is XYZ. So how can we then look at that? But right now we're falling into a big bucket of retail, and we know retail is 0.97%. So again, organic, I think it's really important because the engagement level matters there. Another client, we helped increase their Instagram following by 6,995%. But we also were able to get them over 10,000 followers. The only way you can do the swipe up functionality on Instagram is through a story when you are running an ad. So for the swipe up to happen, you have to have over 10,000 followers on Instagram. So we were able to get this client over 10,000 followers. And now anyone that watched the story, we can link directly to the shop page. We can link to any pages on their website. If there's an article, we can directly link to that. Whereas without having over 10,000 followers, you would normally have to do as a paid campaign, which we know in the cannabis space, there's huge restrictions on getting approved.
Hey everyone, my name is Lauren Prey and I'm from High Purity Natural Products. Here at High Purity Natural Products, we are a contract white label manufacturing company that manufactures tinctures, lotions, balms, gummies, nutraceuticals, cosmetics, nootropics, supplements, and truly so much more. If you're thinking about adding CBD to your product line or starting your own product line, we're your people and we're here to help. Now, a little bit about myself and my background. I went to school at Salem State University studying marketing with a double minor in communications and economics. There at Salem State, I was able to intern and then work at Boston's #1 radio station, Kiss 108, on the Maddie in the Morning show with my long-term radio idols, Billy Costa, Lisa Donovan, and of course, Maddie himself. After that, I went to a communications company where I was approached by the vice president of High Purity Extractions, Chris Gusha, who asked me to do some freelance marketing. And once High Purity Extraction started to grow and High Purity Natural Products came about, I came on full time and fully entered the cannabis industry. Ever since then, I've been learning about the laws, the regulations, compliance, what to say in marketing, what not to say, and so much more. I'm here now to help educate and empower others to do the same and get involved. My first piece of advice for those that are thinking about starting their own product line would be the foundation. So this goes into the marketing, the branding, making sure that you have packaging that is going to differentiate you and make someone actually want to pick this up. So this goes for if you're going to go to a marketing brand like Koda, these are the people that are going to make you stand out visually. Now, once you have that down, you have to find your white label manufacturing partner. So once you found High Purity Natural Products, you're going to come to us with your vision, and we're going to create a product for you that matches exactly what you need. Now, you can go through our over 100 different SKUs of already trusted and formulated products that are on the market and performing well. Or if you'd like to create something completely new, different, that no one's ever done before, we can also help you with that. We can create custom formulated products with our CSO, Chief Scientific Officer Gare, and our head formulation specialist. So there's so much work that goes into that, and that is probably one of the funnest parts of this business of creating a new product that no one's ever seen before. And that's really something that's going to differentiate you and your brand compared to all the other brands out there. What's going to be different? Are you going to use a different terpene complex? Are you going to use different cannabinoids and boost some CBN for a sleep tincture? Or maybe add CBN and myrcene to have different effects? There's so much that you can do and play around with to really create a brand that is unique to you, your story, and your purpose and your why. My second piece of advice would be, don't start with 20 different products. Start low with 7 to 10 products and work from there. Get customer feedback, see what people like, see what doesn't sell, and try to see why. See what's going on with the customer feedback. That is the most important part of your business, and finding out what the customer thinks and what their experience is. This is going to be huge for you because the most important part of your business is the customer. Now, when we think about the customer and think about what's going into the product as well, we have options from full spectrum tinctures, broad spectrums, or isolate. Now, full spectrum tinctures have all the minor cannabinoids, has high amounts of CBD, but it also has a very trace amount of THC, which is going to be under 0.3%. This is compliant levels of THC. If it's more than that, that's going to be a hot oil, and that's non-compliant. But if you have a full spectrum tincture, this is going to be perfect for basically anyone that wants the full body entourage effect, which actually has all the cannabinoids and terpenes working together in your body to create homeostasis. Next, we have broad spectrum oil, which is basically the same thing as full spectrum oil with the minor cannabinoids, terpenes. However, this has no THC. This is a great option for someone that maybe is timid to try a product with THC, but still want to have the entourage effect with the other minor cannabinoids and terpenes. Or we have our last option, which is an isolate. So that's going to be a 99.9% pure CBD, and that is perfect for maybe someone that is a police officer, a firefighter, or someone that is worried about getting a drug test and does not want any THC in their system at all, even though having a full spectrum tincture will not get you high or anything of that nature. So thinking about the end user, if it's going to be someone that is going to be getting drug tested, or if it's going to be a mom and maybe you want to do a broad spectrum because mom wants to try the CBD with the minor cannabinoids, but she's kind of pushed away from the THC. So there's a lot of options that you can play around with and use for your brand. Now this goes into the dosing. A really great thing to do when you have a tincture line is to get a graduated dropper, which says it's a 1 milliliter dropper that you pull out, and it says the 0.5 milliliters, 0.2, 0.7, and it's just an easy way to dose yourself. So say you have a 3,000 milligram tincture and it's in a 30 ml bottle with a 1 milliliter dropper. One dropper will be 100 milligrams, so half of that would be 50 milligrams, a quarter of that would be 25 milligrams. That's a really great way for people to dose themselves and know that what they're taking is exactly right there, and kind of be able to start slow, start low, and really reach the desired effect that they're looking for. The process would be going through our over 100 SKUs of already formulated products and choosing from there and building your product line or building your own custom formulated product. Now, our ideal client usually has all of these things in place when it comes to the marketing, the branding, and their why and their purpose. Some folks come to us in the beginning phases of that, and we help you grow and nurture you until end stage. Or you have an existing product line and it already has CBD in it, and you're looking for a new product manufacturer to maybe expedite your shipments, get back to you faster, create new products, and just elevate your brand to a whole new level. We're here for that as well. And my last point I want to make is that everything that your brand is and is doing should be compliant. So in the state of Massachusetts, we are governed under MDAR, the Massachusetts Department of Agricultural Resources, where everything from seed to sale has to be manufactured, grown in Massachusetts. So High Purity Natural Products, we have our own farm in Westfield, Massachusetts. From seed to final sale, everything is in Massachusetts. It's done compliant, and we ensure that your product's gonna be protected, and it's not gonna be something that is shipped from Colorado or the West Coast. And you're gonna be supporting local businesses and also having a compliant product that won't be taken off the shelves, because how are we gonna be successful if we have no products to sell? Other than that, we are gonna be back and talking about consumers and how to protect yourselves, with a lot of interesting education on that for COAs, scams, and so much more. Thank you guys for tuning in and learning more about manufacturing at High Purity Natural Products, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Hi, I'm Alexis King. I'm the agency manager with Click Insurance. I've been working in the cannabis space since about 2012. I started in a retail head shop procuring and selling high-value local glass pieces. I've worked at HempFest in Boston 2 years in a row and grew to love the industry and how many variables and opportunities there were within it. In 2013, I switched careers and started working for an insurance company who dealt primarily in agricultural needs. This is where I first got the taste for insurance in the cannabis space. From here, I've spent the last 6.5 years specifically refining my insurance knowledge and expertise in this space. Let's talk a little bit about what you're going to need to know in order to discuss your new opportunity with your insurance agent. Imagine yourself 10 years down the road. What do you see your business looking like? Is it going to be in CBD, THC, or hemp manufacturing? Is it going to be a worldwide business? Is it going to be inter or intrastate commerce only? Perhaps you're looking to expand in the world of e-commerce due to current events. Are you going to be diving into the agricultural space where you're actually growing the product yourself? Or are you going to be more concerned in a brick and mortar location where you're having person-to-person interactions with your clientele on a day-to-day basis? All of these items are going to be so hugely important in determining the type of insurance that you're going to need to purchase. These types of coverages can vary widely depending on what your specific business is going to look like. For example, if you're going to be diving into the e-commerce space, you may need to rely more heavily on cyber coverage to protect yourself from any potential data breach. Or if you're diving into a brick and mortar location and you're hiring employees, you may need to focus more on EPLI coverage or perhaps employee crime coverage. Another thing you'll also need if you're going to be hiring employees is workers' compensation. It's going to be important to have a breakdown of what your inventory will look like, the dollar value of your inventory, your annual revenue, and your annual payroll. Aside from this, you'll also need to have in mind what your FID number is, what your business name is, whether or not it's an LLC or a corporation, and you need to keep in mind that there will be different coverages needed for different factors. For example, the coverage that's going to be provided for your product or your inventory is not going to be the same coverage as what you would need to insure a dwelling or a building that you'll be operating out of. Types of coverages that may be important to you during this stage and may be important to discuss with your insurance agent during this stage are items like property coverage and the differences between special and basic causes of loss, general liability coverage, product liability coverage, and coverage for your stock and inventory, which is especially important in the cultivation sector, but shouldn't be overlooked if you're reselling or simply selling out of a store. It'll also be important to discuss product in transit coverage, EPLI coverage, also known as Employment Practices Liability Insurance, D&O coverage, also known as Directors and Officers coverage, professional liability, and perhaps primary and or excess liability umbrella coverage. Remember, the most important thing that you can do is start small, think big, and plan for your insurance expenses. These are going to be incredibly vital to your success in the future. Thanks, and looking forward to working with you in the future.
I'm Tess Woods of Tess Woods PR. The focus we have here is to gain media exposure for our clients, whether they're businesses, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, or emerging cannabis superstars. I've been in the media relations space for more than 20 years, and more recently with a focus on the cannabis PR space for the past 5. Our goal is to gain exposure for clients through strategic media placements, whether it be online, on podcasts, on television, or within the cannabis press, to complement their marketing and sales strategies. Starting a business of any kind is not easy. Starting a business in the CBD and cannabis space comes with many complications and stipulations. So once you're past those stages and you're ready to tell the public about you, that's when I come into play. Once you have your mission, you're ready for sale, your website is up, it's time to start telling people that you're out there. How do we do that? We go to the right media. Are you looking for investors? Then we hit up the financial press. We hit up places that cover cannabis, finances, stocks, VCs, angel investors, all of those sorts of things to get attention where you need it. We find your niche. If you're looking for consumers to buy your products, we have to go to the consumer press, whether it's specifically in the cannabis or CBD industry, or if it's in the beauty industry, perhaps the pet industry, whatever the crossover, finding your niche and finding the right outlets for you. Are you looking for businesses to focus on? Is it a service you provide for the businesses? Then we go to the mainstream business press as well as the cannabis B2B space. The most important part to remember when it comes to getting exposure for your brand is to really figure out what it is that you're offering that's different from everybody else. What's your differentiating selling factor? And how can we make that into a news angle? We need to be relevant. We need to be educational, especially in this space where there's so many people who don't understand it. And we need to understand why you are the expert and the thought leader we should listen to.